Hey YouTube, Dread Joker here, and you might be wondering, why is there just an action base displayed here? Well, this is for the first size comparison because this is the standard action base. This is the action base this kit comes with. This thing is ridiculously large. To give you an idea how large it is, I'm going to grab a DVD case. So here's a DVD case. Here's the stand. It's bigger than the DVD case. It's huge. It's about the same width as the DVD case. And in case you're wondering, this is the Iron Man anime done by Madhouse. Very good. All the stuff done by Madhouse, unfortunately, ends almost the exact same way. I wish they had better writers. That's neither here nor there. This is a variable position action base, if you can even call it that. This is... it's big. This comes with exactly... well, let me think. It comes with a couple perfect grades. The old... I believe it comes with the old S Gundam, the old XS Gundam, the new S/XS Gundam, because so it's the same kit. This also comes with the Deep Striker, but you have to build off of this with the Deep Striker, so it's big. Actually, I kind of want to get a Deep Striker now. I know it's going to be a brick kit, and there's going to be a hard transporting it, but oh my god, I need one. I need something that has a cannon so big it won't fit in the set. But today, because of this, and because of what I listed, it kind of gave away what I'm looking at. So today we're going to be looking at perfect grades, specifically one set. We're going to be looking at the perfect grade Strike Rouge with Skygrasper. Setting this off to the side, let's bring in the Skygrasper with the Ale unit. This is so large, and this gun is so loose that I knocked the scope off, and now it doesn't want to reconnect. Go on there, please. I'm trying to be complimenting you because you're getting a re-release again. Yay! This is massive. It's so massive that I have to back up and adjust the entirety of my tripod. Raise up, swing down. We're still not in frame entirely. Bring this back, set some parts off to the side I forgot to put away. This wingspan is big, and if my assistant has the ruler, I will show you just how big this is, and we keep the ruler in a very weirdly wrapped pattern. Because one of us has OCD. So for wingspan, we're looking at from end to end a little over 13 inches on just the wingspan for this. This is collapsed, by the way. They do pull out. Yes, they pull very far out. They pull out so far I accidentally unpegged them. Oh dear Lord, I hope this goes back in. Okay, now that I got that fixed, the Ale unit, we will take a deeper look at that later once we get to the kit it actually was meant to go for. This is how you normally get the Ale unit with just the regular Strike. And it does not include the rifle and shield. These are part of the standard kit. So, by standard, I mean if you have the regular perfect grade Strike Gundam, any form, you get the rifle and the shield. The Skygrasper just comes with the clamps, the display stand, and the Ale unit. That's already good enough because you need this. you straight up need this for the Strike Gundam. It is the best thing you can get for it. Detaching the ale unit is super simple. You just grab it by the sides here, give it a tug. And now you have the actual Skygrasper itself. To remove the equipment on the sides, you just pop those off and find the scope that decided to fly off again. Oh, lovely. It's probably between my legs somewhere. Ugh. This is a constant reminder. Glue your stuff. Oh, no. There it is, under the Perfect Grade's foot. Yeah, perfect place for you to put what you see through. So this gives us a good chance to look at the rifle. This is the standard Strike Gundam rifle, and I actually wasn't realizing this when I watched Seed the first, like, 3-4 times. This is essentially the exact same rifle that the Freedom and the Justice use. The difference is it's a different jacket, different scope, and one has a blue stripe, one has a red stripe. That's pretty much it. Not bad. This is a good-looking rifle, and it's a pretty easy switch on the jackets. Because you can take these parts off, which means that if I'm reading this right, because of how this is constructed, they were, at one point, going to give us a perfect grade Freedom or Justice. Not Strike Freedom, we just got that one. And we do technically have a 1/60th scale Freedom Gundam. It's a non-grade. And oh, what a non-grade. If you remember what I said about the non-grade Strike for the 1/60th scale, oh, it's good. It's very good. Set that off to the side there. Shield, there's a lot going on with this shield. Number one, you have the handle here. Folds up, folds down. Nice to have a handle here. Nice clicking, nice sliding. Once this is in the arm, it's never going to drop it. You have a nice tab section back here, which has a blast shield there. Blast shield's open. There's a clear part in there. I leave it closed because I don't need the sight open. You got the lock back here. Rotates. Comes off, and this is for a good reason later. Connect it back in here. This whole thing swivels. This whole thing swivels, and this is so you can equip it into the arm, and once it's in there, it's in there. You're going to hear that a lot. When it's in there, it's in there. Setting this off to the side, we're going to take the clamps here, and we're going to stick them in the base. So this is a legitimate storage mechanism for the clamps. They only go in one way with the pegs, but the pegs rotate. So closing these back up on the Skygrasper. So this is where the equipment would go for the launcher and the sword. Sword equipment on this side, launcher on this side. Ale unit on the back. I cannot wait for the perfect Strike to come out, so that way I can make the perfect Grasper. It never appeared in the show or any games, or I don't even think it appeared in the MSV catalog. But you can make it all at once. For this section, for these, to open them, you pull back here, then you can raise this section up, and then you can grab this tab section right here and slide it back. This is a genius design. I love this. I do have one question, though. Why did they skip a scale? So there's the SD Striker weapons set, which is the SD Strike Gundam with the perfect Strike equipment plus a Skygrasper. It's not color accurate at all, but you can do that. So you have an SD Skygrasper. Then you have the real grade, which is essentially the high grade because that's the only 144 on the market. Then you have the perfect grade. So they went from SD to 144 to 160th. Bandai, please answer me. Where the hell is the master grade? I guarantee you, we will buy a master grade of this if you decide to shrink it down. Here's the stupid part. The real grade is a shrunken down version of the perfect grade. What the shit? And you'll have to apologize for that. Or I'll have to apologize for that. That's the one time I'm really going to just go off script like that. It's seriously messed up. Continuing on, You do get landing gear with this. I have them in the bin next to me. It's very uneventful to use them. You simply pop off these panels here. You have to slot the landing gear in, then slot this onto the landing gear tab itself just to make it look like it actually opened. The wheels on it do not roll, but you do have a fully opening cockpit with 2 pilot figures of, oh god, please bear with me here. One of them is Kigali, and the other one is either Mu or, I forget his name. But let's just say he has one of the most brutal deaths in Gundam Seed, period. The only death more brutal than that is the Battle of Alaska. That's the only deaths more brutal. For articulation on this, it's not a lot, but there is some. You can make the cannon go up and down. That's right, I said cannon. This is half plane, half tank. I love this. It's a plane with a rotating turret. Please, Bandai, if you're going to make a new game, I would play a game just with the Skygrasper. Just, like, redo Star Fox with a Skygrasper. I'll buy it. But to connect this to the stand, you got one big open piece here, and there is a panel to cover this all up. I just leave it off because I generally have it connected to the giant base. And you might see it and go, huh, this is a rather small kit for such a large base. Remember, it also includes the AL unit. And that's not wanting to cooperate, so come on, come on, come on. Oh, off-camera magic. Yay, I get to reconnect another part again. Now, if you're just looking to get a Skygrasper yourself, just by itself, this is the first official perfect grade you can get. It is the absolute cheapest on the market. You will not find it at a better price than this, unless it's on some special deal. This kit averages $50. This is a very, very good kit for $50. It's a very easy build. I was able to get this one built when I started with the kit for, I want to say it took me 3 hours for this, but this was mostly just on the AL unit itself. And it was because some parts on this kit are very infuriating. Like this top cover on the AL unit, which is not wanting to re-accept the part. Aside from this one incident right now, because I was a moron, this kit is rock solid. Skygrasper, solid as a... Come on. Come on, just click. Just click in there. Little more. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. I'm gonna have to completely disassemble this later to fix this. Lovely. It's not broken or anything like that, it's just refusing to tab together. But the AL unit, like I said, just slides up on in there, and if they had released any more striker packs other than the AL unit at the time, I would have gone all crazy for it. Because I want to make a Skygrasper equipped with an IWSP so bad, and I want it in a big scale. Why? Well, it's IWSP. Big scale, big guns. Makes sense. Now, moving all of this aside, and by that I mean we're going to take the Skygrasper off the base and set it to the side, and remove the AL unit from it and set that off to the side too. But before that, we're going to accidentally bump the camera again. Raise the beam sabers up. because that is like the one bit of setup you have to do. Then bring the action base back in, bring the whole thing up to the first locking point. Then rotate the equipment binders forward. I just do this for a bit of extra security, because now we bring in Kigali. And oh boy, did she get an upgrade. Number one, this is heavy for a kit. I want to say this weighs 5 pounds. And in case you're wondering, why can't I see those eyes? Well, let me just pop off the panel on the back of the head. And you have to go to, I had to go to Fry's Electronics, which was no small drive from my house, to get the power cell to make it do this. The Strike Gundam, the Perfect Strike Gundam, the Strike Rouge, the Astray Red Frame, and the Astray Red Frame Kai perfect grades, all of them take, you have to build the LED unit yourself, and they all require a CR1220 or DL1220 button cell battery. I was able to pick these up for 75 cents each at my local Fry's Electronics. That was a really good deal. They're the only ones in town that I know have these. I haven't checked Batteries Plus, but honestly their prices are a little high now anyways. Getting the light built is annoying, but at the end result is so satisfying. It lights up the front here. It does light up the main camera. And did this thing just blink off? Kigali, are you having power problems? You're not supposed to. This is a fresh battery. I just recharged you. Do not make me reconnect the power cables to your butt. Yes, they improved the Strike, and they still have the rectal recharge. This thing has way more articulation than it needs to. Starting off, I believe there was supposed to be an LED unit in the chest. This was never implemented. Why do I figure this? There's a large cavity in here, and then up here in the chest vents, there actually is a clear part that runs through both segments. There are a few loose parts on this, but nothing major. The loosest part was one of these pink side bits here, and once you get the rest of the armor on, it's fine. And speaking of the armor, holy crud, does it move. I didn't expect this. So the top panels slide forward, I assume to access some kind of like heat dissipators or something, and if not, if this was any other kit, I would assume there is a heavy weapons system coming for this. But at the same time, if they are going to do a perfect grade duel, this is how you would do it. You'd slide these forwards, and the assault shroud would tab in on top of it. That's how you would do it. So this is probably them either doing a nice detail part or implementing a plan for the future that we may never get. But those parts move. This thing has really, really good dry transfers. I, at the moment, however, have no idea what I'm doing with them, and I don't want to screw them up. But I'm going to show you now its lovely manual. I'm going to turn all the way to the very last page. Right here. Those look amazing. I would love to put those on, but I have yet to find a clear coat that doesn't just absolutely eat them. This kit has a bunch of sticker-style decals. No water slides, if you can believe that, which I'm perfectly fine with. I've never used water slides, and it kind of drives me crazy. Also in the manual, and this is just Bandai really flexing and tempting us. For starters, let's turn to the page where it's actually talking about the Strike, and or the Rouge, and you know, for anyone in the speedrunning community, hey, what country is she from? Orb. But this, for the longest time, drove me absolutely crazy. Look, here's a picture of the Skygrasper with all the equipment. This would drive anybody nuts. Because they had teased this equipment about a decade ago when the Perfect Grade came out. It's not as bad as what happens on the next page, however. Because here they're showing the range, like here's some battle plans, Kigali's symbol, little thing, and then we see this. Lightning Striker. Bandai, I love you, but if you're going to show us not one but two backpacks that this had and you never manufactured, I'm sorry, I have a problem. I have a severe problem. Because I need that Lightning Striker. That is heavy weapons equipment redefined, and it looks like, yep, they mounted half the Skygrasper to her back. Bandai, I need this. I need the strike equipped with literally everything. And here's a nice little shot of the pilot, Kigali, when she's not crying her crocodile tears. Manual, very good. This was only one of the manuals. This comes with 3 manuals. Moving back into the kit. The shoulders are really... This thing has a lot of opening panels. Slide those out, open these. Then there are one of these on each side, so the shoulders completely open up. I had to glue these together. Not the joints here, but the panel here to the armor panel. It just would not stay. So I had to glue that. And then you do have the access ports at the top, similar to the Skygrasper. These are just pegged in there. You just pop them out. Arm. Full 360. Although when you do so, it gets a little loose and you gotta push it back in. Shoulder. Forward. Pretty good. Up. Look at that chrome in there. This has legitimate chrome parts, and working with that runner was not easy. I had to actually turn the lights off just to find out what runner part I was looking at. It was too reflective. That's the one negative about that one runner. The hands. These are individually articulated fingers. These all come on one giant runner. You have to assemble these yourself, somewhat. You twist them out, you cut them out. You may notice some bad nubs. These are next to impossible to clean up. Overall, really good. Articulation in the arms. Oh my god. Way flexible here. There are a couple of weak aspects of this kit. Number one, it has die-cast parts in the knees and in the hips. This is fine. The die-cast works here. The problem is that the variable position hips, which are useful for like 1, maybe 2 poses, are held in place by this plastic part here, which loves to come untabbed, and then the whole thing just starts flopping forward. And as you can see, it comes really far forward. 90 degrees forward, in fact. So without that part to lock it in place, they come ridiculously far forward. This also gives me a chance to show off the skirting. It's connected to a ball joint here, a peg up here, and the entire skirting is actually connected not to the front, but to the hips via a ball joint. So it goes everywhere. My complaints I had with the remaster Strike Rouge, it's fixed. These get out of the way, they move, they do everything they're supposed to. They have the Schneiders in them. Still got to paint the Schneiders yourself, but small price. Actually, let me take a look. I can't remember if you... Yeah, you still do. I couldn't remember if the blade was on the chrome runner, but no, it wasn't. Holding the weapons is a chore. See, that's what I was talking about. You move the hips when you're not holding this. So there's all the way forward, and I have to show you this from the side so you can see what's all going on here. So as you pull the knee down, it's pulling all these parts to make this beautiful bend. And as it's doing so, exposes even more chrome pistons. All of these you have to build yourself. This kit, from start to finish, was an 18-hour build. I only took a couple of breaks, so in total it was probably 15 hours of consecutive work. Ankles, really good ankles, and as they rotate, it moves these pistons in the leg. Then you can move the front section, the rear section, open up these panels here, and the whole leg here rotates too. Getting these panels up on the sides out of the way, again, no small feat. You can possibly get it to rotate a little more if I can get the other one to come out now. No, it's pretty much locked, but you do have rotation here because you assemble this part and this part separately. Then they polycap together. This thing uses 3 trays of polycaps. But it works out so well. The feet, super, super detailed. And in case you're wondering, have I done any lining to this kit? The answer is actually minimal. It's just on the head. It's just the black around the eyes you see there going up, down, or the lines on the red part of the face, and then the lines going down. I did that with the gray inking pen, same one I did for the master grade. Works perfectly. To connect it to the action base, once again, you grab the whole unit and you shove it up her butt. In this case, it's unapologetic. You shove it right up there. And now it's even taller. But you may ask, why do you need it on the display base? Well, have you ever seen the Strike Gundam? Have you ever seen how far its backpack sticks out? It's basically, its solution for flight was to strap a plane to its back and run. Hey, beats what they did in Power Rangers. Hey, how are we gonna fly in Dino Charge? Strap a pterodactyl to your back. Start flapping, man. So to line it all up, number 1, tab. Number 2, hole. Line it all up, make sure you got everything slotted together, and there is one problem area I have on this kit, and it goes with my gripe in general. I personally feel that this kit's V-fin is way too fragile. I had a microfracture happen to it when it was in transit, and I was lucky enough that it happened in transit to the local builders meeting, and somebody there let me borrow their thin cement so I could weld it back together. So, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name if I ever got it from you, but thank you very much for helping fix my first and only perfect grades. Slot the whole unit together, then you have to bring this up and then bring it down once you get it tabbed in. Bring the engines back. And now you're starting to see why you need the stand. Here was her original back. Here's the end of her new back. The solution was to strap a plane to its back. And oh boy, what a plane. Now to get this back in frame so I can actually work with it again, I'm going to take it and move the whole base down and slant it forward. This makes it even stabler, if you can believe it. Stabler, I know, not a word. But we also get, aside from the beam sabers, the standard sword, board, and rifle with this, and the knives it has, or she has tucked in her pockets, we also get this gigantic piece of cutlery. How big is it? I have the blade on the ground. And it's almost halfway up my set. This is the Grand Slam. This was never used in the anime, ever, by any suit. This was, however, used in the one-off Gundam Evolve special that was designed to promote the Perfect Grade, using the Perfect Grade as the base. It did so spectacularly. To get the Grand Slam equipped in the hand, you got the tabs, you got the hands, you got the sides, and it holds this a lot better than I thought it was going to. Yeah, it was going to turn into a long one, but, I mean, it's a perfect grade. Negatives about the perfect grades, at least this one. Because of how old this is, by the way, this is the exact same mold that's going to be reused for the Strike Gundam, or the Perfect Strike that's coming out. This mold is from 2005, and they've never felt the need to update it. Even today, in the community, this is regarded as the best perfect grade to start on. The absolute worst ones to go with are the original release of the Wing Zero. You have to glue everything. There's no exception. You either glue it or it explodes parts. The perfect grade Zeta. Actually, no, I could say the real grade Zeta too. Any Zeta Gundams, pretty much. Keep them in one mode. Never transform them. Because the second you transform them, there's where the problem starts. Then go the double O's. Double O's, for whatever reason, like Exia is near the top. It's Exia and Strike tied for the first position. The Skygrasper's on there, but a lot of people put it in a master grade list just because of its essentially a master grade complexity. Okay, good golly. Come on, time to grip your weapon. I will admit, I am not the best poser out there. If I had time to come up with a better pose, then I could do a jump cut. But unfortunately that requires editing, which I am not good at. I would do it. To get the shield connected, first off, take the shield connector off. That is the fastest way I'm going to tell you. Turn the whole unit. Fold up the clamp, fold down the lock. Put the sword into the peg. Sword? No. Put the connector into the polycap, then close the lock, the clamp, lock the lock. Then slide the whole shield handle forward. Then what we're going to do, and I have to see what I'm doing, so Kigali, rotate 90. Slide the entire handle over her hand. Move it up until you're comfortable with where it stops. I like to bring it up pretty high into the hand. Then wrap the fingers around it as best I can. Close up the thumb. Bring it up a little bit. And like I said, it's never going to drop this, but if you accidentally grab the clamp, it's going to drop this. And working with a perfect grade from behind a camera, not as easy as it looks. This is the most complicated model kit I have in my collection to date. As it should be, this is not cheap. This set, which is commercially available, is $200. Perfect grades. And let me say this again. This is $200. Your average perfect grade runs between $120 and the most expensive one I believe I saw was $400 or $500. The most expensive one I've ever seen was $6,000 if last check, but that one was an exclusive in Japan of the Fenix, which they didn't want to produce in the first place. And this one was a special, like, banned version for it. It's complicated. Now, to give you an idea on the size of scale again, so a while back, remember that Gundam head I did? Well, I still haven't fixed it, because, yeah, I'm lazy. This head is the size of the whole body. The whole chest. This head is the whole chest. It's big. This kit is big, big. And it does have weapon storage options too, because if you don't want to have the rifle displayed, well, you actually can still have it connected. You can bring this part on the butt down, and there is rifle storage there. There's also, for whatever reason, the rectal recharge ports. Yes, they felt that it absolutely required to include the power ports. I appreciate this. I don't know what they would possibly be used for on this kit, but I have a feeling it might be for an LED system. There's gaps everywhere, and again, this was never released with an LED system, so I don't know. There is one additional thing you can do with this, and I'm going to bring the Skygrasper back in, and I have to lower this all the way down. Because first, I have to move these up, get this panel open, and when you do this, it allows you to bring the foot even further back. I'm going to do this on both sides. Then, have to hold the crotch. There's that click again. And swing. One leg forward in a charging position. Bring the shield up. And as you can see, the arm is a little loose when it comes to the shield. I think it's just a weight issue. Or it could be that it's not fully tabbed in again. Or I just need to tighten it up. Yeah, it just wasn't in all the way. So grab the whole unit. Bring her all the way forward like she's going to lunge at somebody. So it gets really low to the ground. Then, and this is where some finagling comes in. And by finagling, I of course mean negotiating. Negotiate the backpack off. Raise her head, be mindful of her V-fin. Her V-fin is incredibly thin. How thin is it? Paper thin compared to some parts on this kit. I've seen thicker V-fins on high grades. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the Skygrasper back in, because you might be wondering, well, hey, I only got one stand, but I have all of these perfect grades that use it. How am I going to display both at once? Well, you might notice that additional tab on the back. You're not going to get the strongest connection in the world, but you're going to get a connection. So with it all set up, you can actually have the Skygrasper resting back here, and you can have the whole unit assembled. So if you just want Kigali dashing with the shield off, just bring the connectors back in. Yeah, that helps, thanks. Yeah, the Grand Slam is really heavy. For, like, it's heavier than you think it would be. For just being 4 pieces of, or I'm sorry, like 6 or 8 pieces of plastic, it's a lot heavier than you think it would be. Get everything set back up. So you actually can have, just straight up, you can have it all with this. I will test this again once I get the Perfect Strike that's coming out next year. Or actually, by the time this goes up, it'll be next year, so... Get her in a decent pose. Take the other clamp. And in case you're wondering if you can equip, like, the Ale unit with the shield and the rifle while it has all the rest of the equipment, likely not. They are modifying it to do a bunch of different stuff, and all these modifications are made to the existing Strike Gundam. So that means because the Strike Gundam and the Skygrasper basically share the same connection ports, every part should be cross-compatible. That being said, the Perfect Strike that is coming does not include a display stand. It is just for $230, or thereabouts. Just going to be the basic Strike Gundam, essentially, with the launcher, sword, and Ale packs with the additional power batteries. So, if you just decide to maneuver some parts out of the way, you actually can get absolutely everything onto this. So if you just want to have one nice big display, this is what you can do. I love that there's enough clearance to do this. If you're asking me whether or not I recommend this, oh, abso-freaking-lutely. This is the kit to beat when it comes to perfect grades. I'm a sucker for a strike, and having a hot pink one certainly doesn't hurt. This frame is also recycled into bits of the Astray, so it's going to have really good articulation. I will let you know how that one goes the second I get one. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to share any potential upgrades to the Strike that could be made via simple modifications to an existing Ale unit, or if you just want to show off, have a nice conversation, etc., please leave your comments down in the comments section below. I will be more than happy to read them, respond to you, and thank you very, very much for sitting through this. I know it was a long one, but this is a perfect grade. This is the top tier of Gunpla. They are always going to be this long. Unless we're talking about Zeta, then I ain't touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.